You go to Canada, you find a unicorn. What do? Well, I doubt there's any unicorns in Canada anyway, especially with these tariffs. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Death of a Unicorn. What's about? Pretty simple premise. Have you seen the trailer? Damn simple. Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, in a car, bam, hit a unicorn, kills the unicorn. But you know what? Can the unicorns even die? And is the unicorn going to kill cancer? Of course, shenanigans, eat the rich type of storyline. So I like this film. It was fine, but I was just kind of bored with all the caricatures in this movie and everything that was like tropey and more tropey. And you're just like, I want something a little bit fresh. And some of the characters and characters' decisions just weren't believable at the very end of the film. You're just like, this makes no sense. There's a lot of like inconsistencies with the editing as well, and some of the CGI that you're just like, it's a very inconsistent movie in my opinion. Unfortunately, it kind of was a bummer in my opinion. I might be, one that, maybe I'm the downer for this one, but it just didn't do it for me. All right, positives. I think the premise was kind of fun. I do think finding a unicorn and things like that and getting to know some of these character designs were good, especially with these unicorns kind of being a crazy-ass horse fuckery kind of creature design, which really does work in my opinion. And I was having fun with that. I was really having fun with that. I was having fun with the mansion and what they're trying to do with unicorn dust. I liked some of the acting overall. I think Will Poulter does the best job in this movie through and throughout. He is kind of having the most fun when I think about this film. All right. Writing, I think it's fine, but then it just kind of irks me, the whole Eat the Rich storyline, because I always have trouble with this with Hollywood, a very billionaire industry, kind of like dogging on the rich, saying, oh yeah, fuck the rich, but it's like, how much did you get paid to make this movie? And that just kind of like irks me the wrong way, because I'm like, you got paid, what, 10 million sometimes? 5 million? 2 million? And you're talking about Eat the Rich? So it's like, first off, that just kind of, in my opinion. 2, inconsistencies, right? So there's a scene where Paul Rudd is literally gets splatted in the face with so much blood. Then he gets to the house and there's no blood on him whatsoever. Like, there's a whole point of a pollen and eyesight kind of storyline, but you're just like, where did the blood go? Where did the blood go? That makes no sense. There are so many inconsistencies dealing with that, where it's so hard to overlook. You're just like, there's no way that he doesn't have blood on his shirt, and just like, someone's going to be like, what is that? What is that? So that kind of bothered me throughout. Other things that bother me is people actually touching this unicorn or sniffing the unicorn dust, and you can kind of see things that are happening. Okay. So I understand when you're touching the unicorn horn and you're kind of getting these glowy thing, but sniffing it, it makes you smarter. What I like for Boar's character, I'm sorry for the coughing again, it makes him smarter, but other people see like the afterlife in the universe. So it's just like inconsistencies of what they're seeing as well. Also, the end of the film, right? So it's like either the Canadian cops are just dumb as shit. Okay, yeah, they're probably dumb as shit, right? They're like, oh, don't you know that, there's so many dead bodies with, horn protrusions in their face. People are getting ripped with guts. There's like holes through people's bodies. But yeah, it's Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. They're the ones that did it. There's no evidence whatsoever of anything happening. They could even do this stuff. But yeah, let's just arrest them too. And you have a guy who saw the unicorns, but is going to blame it on them too. And there's only one cop? There's only Canada. What the fuck? Like, how much money do we have to give you for the military to subsidize things, and you can't even do your job? What the shit? So that kind of really bothered me. And also at the very, very end, where it's like, it cuts away to something that happened. It's like, okay, now I know you don't have a budget. And you not having a budget kind of really irked me the wrong way with how the movie ended and just how some of the horses / unicorns look. Yes, there's kind of a good scene where it's like growling at Jenna Ortega, and you're like, yes, I like that. I've seen the protrusion of the teeth, the cavities, the plaque, and the tongue. Freaking sweet. But there's one scene where like an explosion happens and they run away in the wood. You're like, yeah, that's not good CGI whatsoever. And it's such a mix of good and bad unicorn CGI that it just really was very, very inconsistent. And again, there's just something they don't explain, especially with the explosion. You're like, what? Yes, I understand, like, but then they turn to white unicorns. So wait a minute. Maybe I don't understand. Maybe this movie, like I said, this movie is all over the place. There's inconsistencies through and throughout of people's, the reasoning behind what they're doing. And it just kind of doesn't make sense of how we're going to go to these like old portraits of the 14th, 15th century of a maiden and how Will Poulter snorts it and randomly knows that that's what it means. But like I said, it's all over the place. It's very inconsistent. Some of the humor, a lot of the humor actually didn't work for me. Some of the gore did actually, so I enjoyed that part. But overall, Death of a Unicorn just didn't work for me overall. Caricatures, Hollywood saying eat the rich even though they're rich. And like at a point, like I was like, oh, yes. And Paul Rudd's and Jenna Ortega's characters of like the father-daughter relationship, I just didn't see it at all. I mean, come on. At a point, Paul Rudd just got to be like, a little thing doesn't seem right here. And I know they try to connect it with the dead parent, but still, it takes you an hour and 35 minutes into an hour and 50-minute movie to be like, yeah, maybe there were bad people, right? Right. So Death of a Unicorn will receive a 2.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 50%. So let's see the critics and news scores gave this one. Critics, 55% with 126 of them. Audience score, 72% with over 100. Critic consensus. Receiving some sparkle from Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega's father-daughter rapport. Death of a Unicorn broad satire is a bit too on the horn, but makes up for entertaining splattery creature feature. Rolling Stones give it a negative, but I mean, why? It's kind of funny where he says, put America's upper crust on blast, bring it, but it's not America, it's Canada. So Rolling Stone, what the fuck? Anyway, 50, 55, 72. Chase Soccer, the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of the things, Bluetontopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. A great day. Watch the tape tomorrow week from I'm here for every single freaking one of you. God dang it, this freaking cough.